Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Change the Odds podcast, where marriage and family were never meant to be a game of chance.
There we go. Adrian's got it. Blaine has no idea, but Adrian has it down.
That's why I
Get
got
the
her.
tagline.
That's a team. We're a team.
How are we, everybody?
Oh,
Good?
we are good.
Great.
Really good. Really
Yeah.
good. Great week.
Happy morning.
Yeah. It was.
Yes. Couple
yeah.
tears for
Yeah,
one of
school.
our kids,
Another
but
school
we worked through
drop-off.
it.
Oh,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
I just got the text that Jenny's car needs a new transmission. 10 grand.
Oh,
so
bing,
Kevin's not
bang,
having a good
boom.
day.
Ah, life.
It is what it is.
We're not getting a new transmission. I can guarantee you that. I called Jenny and said, "What kind of car do you want?"
What? Yeah. Okay.
Here we go.
So that's your fix.
Let's talk about money today. Let's talk about the importance of saving.
Yes. Yes. The importance of saving. Don't we know it?
What is our topic today?
The topic today is
Speaking the truth in love in marriage.
yes. Yes.
There we go.
Yes. And we got the insider information because Kevin, great job on Sunday.
Well, thank
Great
you.
job.
That's where we
Yes.
need
Yeah.
to take this whole podcast from now on.
Don't worry about cars.
So
You did
y'all
great.
listened. Y'all listened on
We
Sunday.
We did, yeah.
There we
did
go.
intently.
We sure did.
Yes.
So as we're recording this, the
Yeah.
previous Sunday spoke out of Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 15, where it talks about speaking the truth in love is actually what leads to maturity. Maturity then leads to unity. And obviously there's a very clear marriage concept whenever it comes to that. I mean, one thing I said even in the introduction is that divorce is the byproduct of immaturity. It
Yeah.
could be immaturity between an individual, immaturity between both of them, or just the relationship itself is immature. And yet, whenever we grow up, whenever we are mature, that leads to unity, which is so couples that succeed find that amount of maturity. So the question becomes, how do you become mature?
Yeah.
And this is the process by
Yeah.
which we do that.
For me, it's cool because I think I kept saying, oh, divorce comes from like selfishness. And that's almost like a negative way of looking at it, but it comes from immaturity. And when you're immature, there's ability to become mature, right?
Yeah.
And I forget how you worded it, but it was something of how that is a choice that we make
Yeah.
to become and attempt it. We'll always grow old.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Am I getting it now?
Yeah, that you're
Right?
almost there. I like it. I like it.
It's not guaranteed that you're going to mature.
That's exactly right.
Right.
Growing old is automatic. Growing up is
There
intentional.
it is. Ooh.
Yes,
Preach.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So it goes back to our big word from friends, partners, and lovers. This importance of intentionality in everything that we do. That includes the topic of maturity and how do we become mature. This is the process where
Yeah.
we learn in a proper way to speak truth in love. And so, what does that look like? And so, the very first thing that we talked about on the weekend, the very first thing we need to recognize now is we tend to feel torn. That truth is on one side, love is on the other, right? And so, which is it?
Right.
Which do you want right now? I mean, I can literally hear Jenny say this. Do you want me to be truthful, or do you want me to be loving? Right. So we feel this tension.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Jesus never felt that tension. It literally is two sides of one coin. So one thing we said over the weekend, I think is important for us to recognize now, is that truth without love is a weapon. This is how you hurt people. This is how you destroy people. That you decouple these two essential elements, and now we're just pounding the truth out there. But then you have the idea that love without truth is a lie. And so without truth, there's no substance to love. So love without truth it's lust many times. We talked about how it can be kindness, kind of masquerading. It's cowardice, masquerading as kindness.
Yep.
But instead, whenever we wed these two things together, there's a magic that's in them that I just think we greatly miss within the role of marriage. And if we can learn to grow in these areas, it will have an impactful future for us.
And we get excited because we're sitting up there and listening, and we're like, Blaine, I know that I'm all love. I have a hard time sometimes speaking the truth, whereas you have no problem saying it for what it is, the truth of it, and you would feel maybe that you lack the empathy or we're noticing this little, maturity process right here in real time, because I think I'm one that I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to feel good and be used and all the good things, but to be like direct with what I actually want them to do is scary for me, right? So then together we're this good weapon, because she'll hit me on the table. No, tell them how it is, or whatever it is. Like even last night in our group that we're having, I'm trying to like elevate some people to lead, but I'm just feeling them out to making sure that they want to lead. And I don't want to offend them, but at the same time, I know it's going to be the best for them
Yeah.
and our group
Mhm.
and us. And I'm like, I'm contemplating this. And she goes, it's no big deal. Just tell them, like, they're
Yeah.
on your team. Like, let's go. Right.
That's an intro, and we'll talk more about this later because personality plays a huge
Sure.
aspect of this. First of all, can you all, and if you don't know it, I'm not going to have my feelings hurt. But remind me your attachment styles. Do you remember?
The attachment styles.
Secure, anxious, avoidant.
I would be.
I don't remember. Okay,
No.
we can.
I think I'm secure avoidant.
Okay, we can run a test
I'd
later.
be secure attached.
Anxious.
Anxious.
Secure, anxious. Attached is the big umbrella word.
Right,
But
right, anxious.
because here's what surprises me, just off the top, is as an Enneagram 8,
Mm.
you would think truth would come very easy to you, and that you wouldn't love would be a little bit harder. Now, if you lean toward a wing 7, 8 wing 7, that begins to make sense. You kind of want everybody to be happy,
Mhm.
and you don't want to deal with the hardship.
Mhm.
You would think with an Enneagram 9 now that you would waffle back and forth between, there's times in which you speak abundant truth and people would think, you lack love. And then there would be other times in which you would decenter your opinion and you're actually holding back what your opinion actually is.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's just with Blaine that you have the ability to speak truth so easily because you all have created this relationship of trust
Yeah.
that's there.
And safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. For her to have safety, right?
Yeah.
And you can speak your mind and know
Yes.
that it's not going to, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, because a lot of things I say to you, I wouldn't actually say to
The person.
the people.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Here's what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
be like, well, that's dumb. They just
Yeah.
need to do this, but I would never go up to them
Yeah.
and probably say it like that.
So that's that dyadic viewpoint that you and I both share.
Yeah.
We're so keenly aware of other people and ourselves that causes us to vacillate between the two. So sometimes we can come across as shockingly truthful people, almost prophetic in a way that we will boldly speak truth where nobody else will,
Yeah.
which causes people to assume that we're always speaking truth and we're not.
Mm.
Because there's this whole other time where we're holding back all of our opinions because we don't want to hurt feelings.
Yes.
How's that going to cause the relationship? We don't want that kind of frustration that's going on there. And then even for you on top of that, being a 9, where agency is so central, that would lean you more toward truth at times, but then your dyadic view is going to hold you back
Yeah, it's very
at other times.
confusing
Yeah. No, it
for
would
my
create,
own brain.
it would create a great tension
Yeah.
within that.
And then I lack heart,
Empathy.
empathy, not for, but just for certain things.
Yeah. Scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
do you lack it or do you fail to express it?
Actually, yes, that
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've built up some kind of wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in all likelihood, some story was written in your upbringing that kind of vulnerability is frowned upon in this
Yep.
place,
Yep.
and so you've learned to hold it back. So it's there, it's very present. I
Yeah.
find you to be a very compassionate person,
Thank
but it's going to be behind a wall.
Yes.
And so if you're close to friends, they're going to see you as extremely empathetic because you're comfortable enough in those cases. In a room full of strangers, they might feel a little bit more reserved,
Right.
because they haven't deserved to break through that wall.
One
Yeah,
of the
I
most
totally agree.
attractive moments of my life to Adrian was we were marriage counseling someone and talking. I'm here trying to make it all okay, and she looks her dead in the eyes and says, "This is what you need to do. This is who you are." And it just like spoke life over them. And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! You can't you're gonna break her." And then this woman's just like, "Yep, I need to do that."
Yeah.
And it was the truth that she was willing to
Yes.
say because she was tired of the nonsense.
Yeah.
And
I do get tired of the nonsense.
Yes.
I cannot handle.
Yeah.
you
this.
do too, don't you?
No, I do. I do. It's just I run at that moment. That's the difference.
But I think
Yeah.
it's important when you're in that safe and Holy Spirit led place because it was out of love that she spoke the truth, and it was out of
No
belief.
idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
I can tell you off camera exactly what it was.
Remember
'cause-
when we were sitting down with Jenny and Kevin?
Yeah. We were at their house for dinner.
But I think-
Kevin went to the couch.
I think that's a great example between the two of you of how you lean one way and the other, and all of that we got to grow in, and how do we get better individually. But it shows how, as a team together, you can have a wholeness that you
Yeah.
can't have on your own.
So how do we tell the truth? How do we get to that spot where we start telling the truth? And we know it's important in marriage because we're feeling it. We understand that it's growing our trust in each other. It's created a safer spot. I told you it's most attractive I've ever been. There's intimacy. There's all these great things. So it's clearly important in marriage.
Yeah.
But how do we get there? How
Well,
do we do that?
yeah, and even think about how truth now impacts all three major roles, right?
Right.
So friendship is built on trust, partnership built on respect, intimacy built on vulnerability.
Right.
The truth now builds trust. Without the truth, you can't have trust. And yet, as the more truthful you get, the more you can begin to see that there is a trust that's there. If somebody uses the truth to help you, not to wound you, you begin to trust them.
Hello.
We
Yeah.
probably all have
Yeah.
people in our lives that we know we can go to. They're going to be honest with us,
Right.
right? So I get done on a Sunday morning. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's so great." I'm like,
Mhm.
whatever. And I can go to somebody and say, "Hey, what do you think?
Right.
Hey, here, this
Yeah.
part was kind of weak. This part would." All right, I know they're going to tell me the truth, which means whenever they compliment me, it means so much more.
Mm.
Yeah.
So truth now builds trust, and trust is necessary for truth to exist. So that's how friendship begins to exist. The thing about friends is you trust them because they tell you the truth. They
Right.
can tell you the truth that nobody else can tell you
I love that.
because you know it's for their good intention.
Yeah.
But then the idea of partnership.
Yeah.
Imagine being in a business partnership with somebody you can't. It's not going to tell you the truth. It's going to lie to you. It's going to manipulate the numbers in
Yep.
some way. Tell you they're doing one thing when they're really not. It erodes respect.
Yeah.
So truth is a key element of respect. And then trust plus respect equals vulnerability. What is vulnerability? It is now sharing the truth
Right.
that's kind of hidden in some
Right.
ways. And so I think first and foremost to see how it is one of these bedrock foundational elements of every aspect of our relationship. Now, this has to take priority within the relationship of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, in part, what it means is we're gonna shy away from the opposite. We're gonna recognize that lies erode, they corrode every aspect of who we are. And so, right from the very beginning, I mean, one of our family values for Jenny and I, we stole it from somebody else. That we avoid the two L's. We are not lazy, and we do not lie.
Mm.
I tell my kids all the time, look, our relationship is built primarily on one thing: the ability now to tell each other the
That's
truth,
so
to trust
good.
each other.
Mhm.
And I would far rather you come to me and say, Dad, I disobeyed you. I did this. Now here are the consequences. You do that, I actually trust you.
Right.
Mhm.
I
Right.
actually lean in, and you're probably not even going to get in real trouble.
Right.
We're going to go deal with the issue.
Right.
Mhm.
But man, the moment you lie to me,
Oh,
the
that's
moment
good.
you don't tell me the truth,
it worse.
then you're losing freedom, you're losing responsibility.
Mhm.
All right, if that is true for our kids,
Mhm.
how much more true is it with each other?
That is so good.
But what if you have a partner or spouse?
Hypothetically?
Yes. Very hypothetical and not even our situation, but like I'm just thinking for other people
Mhm.
where they feel like their other half or even a friend can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Like they're too fragile or
Yeah.
they're too emotional and it would destroy them.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, I think to navigate that wisely, to recognize what's going on. But here's what is often happening there. Often it's not that the other person can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's that we struggle with how they react to it.
Right.
So we're actually projecting upon them an insecurity within us. I remember years ago, my sister got breast cancer. She's doing great now, but my sister got breast cancer, and there was all this discussion about how my grandparents were living, of who's going to tell the grandparents.
Mm.
Like, I mean, my sister, their second favorite grandchild, and all these things. And I'm like, I'll go tell them.
Right.
I have no problem going to tell them.
Mhm.
These people are 90 years old. Do you know how much hardship they've been through
Right.
in
Right.
their entire lives? They're going to encourage me,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but the fear was, at their age, I don't know if they can
Mm.
handle it.
Wow. Yeah.
Bet you they can.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so this idea that they can't handle the truth,
Mm-hmm.
I think oftentimes is grossly overplayed.
Mm.
What really is going on is we can't handle the discomfort of how they might respond to it.
That's a really good
And
point.
so, and then beyond that, even if they do struggle a little bit, well, how are they going to grow in that? How are they going to grow if we never tell them the truth? Well, it actually is going to make them worse. You can kind of use the golf example, Blaine. You got a guy that hits a big slice. What does he do? He keeps on moving farther and farther to the left.
Yeah.
What does that do? It
Yeah,
creates a
worse.
worse slice.
Yeah.
And so how do you correct that? A lot of times you actually aim right,
Right.
and then your body will correct. Well, if you have somebody who, quote unquote, can't handle the truth, we need to tell them the truth
Yeah.
so they can begin to learn to handle this, because
Yeah.
you cannot be a human being
Yeah.
now if you can't proper
Right,
this
'cause
in a
then
proper
you're
way.
just coddling them.
Yeah.
And they never grow. Okay, so like basic question.
Oh.
Do I look good in this dress? Your wife asks you.
Oh, I
What
do
if you
that.
actually think it looks horrible? You say that?
Yeah. Wait, what?
Kevin.
What?
Kevin?
You have next time
I'm just
on Change the Odds.
As a friend,
Yes.
I used to be like, oh, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
if girls ask, friends ask. But now I want to be like, I actually hate it. And maybe I could do it with more love, but it's like,
Yeah.
I think you could do better.
Yeah.
But that might be totally different
So
between a
it is a
husband-
great question. Is there ever a time to lie? I don't know if y'all remember, but the old comedian, he's unfortunately gone now, Ralphie May. I don't know if you remember
No.
Ralphie May. I'm not in any way encouraging you to
Go
listen
watch
to it. But he's actually from Arkansas.
Oh, no
Ralphie
kidding.
May from Arkansas, just right down the road from where I grew up. And he talks about, and obviously he's not a Christian, has a different life perspective than what I
course.
have.
Yeah.
He says all healthy relationships are built on lies. Lies, well-constructed lies. You cannot have a healthy relationship if you tell the truth. And so if your girl walks in and says, do I look fat in this? Lie, right? Okay, I get what he's saying, and it's a joke in part.
Right.
He also had multiple marriages that didn't work out.
Okay.
There's a reason for that. So, no, we do not lie. We
Yeah.
do not lie. However, we do not have to be harsh
Yeah.
in the things that we say, and we can be wise and discerning in how we say that. So let's say Jenny hypothetically were to walk into something and she were to say, do I look good in this?
Right.
And let's say it's not my favorite thing ever. I might say, I actually prefer the other dress. Okay. You're not coming in with this brutalness, right? Here's what I think is very important for us to recognize. We want to be able to say hard things. We never want to say harsh things.
It's good.
There's a difference between those
Big
two
time.
things. Hard things is I'm willing to be vulnerable, to experience a little bit of the discomfort now for your benefit.
Right.
Yes.
Harsh things are I actually can't take a conversation about this. So I'm going to state it as painfully as possible in hopes of wounding you to such an extent that you cannot respond as a way to protect myself.
Oh.
So why would Adrian want to say, I hate that? Like, that's a pretty harsh way of saying, I don't think she'd ever say it. But like,
She wouldn't.
I would. I said your short. Well,
no,
Well,
what
but
did you say?
You
I
can't
said your
hear.
shorts are bothering me to my core, or something like that.
And I said,
I was like, they're
"Excellent, that's
irritating
great, I
me
love it."
like insanely a lot.
Did it hurt you?
Not at all.
And then
All right.
I fixed
That's
his
the
shorts.
key. That's the key.
And you know what else? Can I just share something
But
about
he
please?
is like iron. Nothing.
No,
bothers
Blaine's not
him.
an iron. He cries all the time. I don't know why I'm talking in third person. But
Yeah, I don't
anyway.
like it.
We'll stop. Blaine will stop. So I'm chatting to a guy. This is nonsense. This is on fantasy football. And he texts me
Golf or
out of the
football?
blue and he goes, I'm mad at you. And I was like, I felt so comforted by that. I now know where he's at. I know he's mad at me.
Yeah.
We pick up the
But
phone.
I wouldn't have that
I
reaction.
know. I'm just processing here
Okay.
because it's like, it's interesting how did it make me feel? Better. I'm now aware of my shorts. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm now aware that you're mad at me. Hey, why are you mad at me? I love going into that spot because I'm not
Ooh, I know.
scared of where I can't wait to get on the other side of that. To know that there's like brutal honesty, love it.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait. She would die.
No, I hate
in that moment.
confrontation.
Yeah.
I'd be like, my whole nervous system would like shut down, and I would be like, oh my gosh, oh my
So
gosh.
she walks into a room and is like, how does this look? Babe, I love you so much. Oh, you look so good. I mean, how do you feel? I'm not sure. Yeah, go for it. Like, is that okay?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, you didn't answer the question.
I don't think I need to answer the question.
'Cause I
I'm
already
trying to
know.
figure out what is the question.
What is the question?
Yeah.
No, I think that's an important aspect.
Yeah.
What is the question?
Yeah.
And again, we do not lie. However, we don't have to just go immediately with harshness of what's going on or even what the question that is actually being asked at that moment. And instead, let's get to the heart of what is actually taking place. So, but I find it interesting because here's my guess, Adrian. My guess is you're actually good when the confrontation, you're in the middle of it. In other words, let's say you're forced into a hard conversation. My guess is you're really good at that. It's the lead up that you don't want any part of. I'm
Maybe.
that way from the standpoint
makes
of
sense.
if
Yeah.
we're in a difficult conversation, I'm actually very good at that. I'm thoughtful, I'm kind, I'm reflective, I'm not defensive.
Yes,
But
yeah.
but if you text me, I'm mad at you without telling me what
I'd
about,
be spiraling.
or even the text of, hey, can we talk tomorrow?
Oh.
No.
Right
No,
now.
right now.
Or never
Tell me
again.
what, because the story I'm writing in my brain is so much
Exactly.
worse
Yeah.
than anything that's going to possibly be. We had, hey, a couple of our friends invited me to dinner, and they're also my bosses, right? And hey, let's go to dinner Saturday night. And I'm like, oh my
Oh,
goodness, what
What is
what
going
have I
down?
done? And so
Yeah.
this whole service, right? I'm like listening, thinking, what am I about to get fired? Am I about to get promoted? Am I like, what in the world?
Yeah.
So we go to dinner and nothing. I'm like, well, as soon as we order, nothing happens. Well, as soon as the appetizers come, So basically, we're at the very end, and they're paying the check. They're my boss. Yeah, I'm not paying.
Yeah, no
they're
kidding.
they're paying for the bill, and I'm like, so
What's this about?
what is this? And they're like, oh, we just want to hang out.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, well,
Could have told me that earlier.
I can relax now and hang out. Y'all want to stay for a couple more
Yeah,
hours?
yeah.
But so we have this thought, right, of what's going on. So I totally get the idea of that fear that is there.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Part of that is just our own background and where maybe we had to guess in our family. Maybe in
Right.
our family it wasn't really spoken about what was unhappy, so we had to read the room, which makes us very good at doing that, except we can overread into what's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever it's okay to have that. My issue is once the conversation is happening, now can we stay in it enough? And what I love here is y'all are creating a relationship to change some of these pathways that you've had of old.
for sure.
And then that can begin to ripple out to your friends, to your kids, to other people. And then what does that look like to speak truth in the midst of every
Yeah.
relationship?
yeah.
Right.
Good.
And even just an example, like with your kids, we're like, Mom, look at this thing I made you. And like, I don't want to lie, but I also am like, oh, cool. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't want to like,
You're sounding terrible.
I know I'm a horrible human.
No,
Aren't
you're
we
not.
all?
No, you're not.
But do I like, I want to foster their creativity. I
Yes,
don't want to
yes.
like be the mom who said, you were too loud and they never speak again, like,
Find the good.
But yet she
So find
she
the
does
good.
this.
Mom, I brought this for you.
No.
All right. In the long run, what they brought does not matter.
it's the
What is
thought.
it you want to speak life into?
Yeah.
And so you do not have to just say, I hate this, or that's, that
Yes.
that actually looks like a 5-year-old did it. Well,
Yeah.
Mom, I'm 4.
Right. yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually
Wow.
brilliant in what's going on, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to, let's get to the heart of what is actually going on and where can I speak life?
Right.
And so speak truth into the part that's going to add life into
Like
what's
you were
taking
so
place.
thoughtful to think of me.
Thoughtful, creative,
Yeah.
the initiative that they
Okay.
actually showed, the time that they took that they could have been fixated
Right.
and focused on themselves. I wish your dad were more like this.
Yeah,
these
yeah,
kind of-
yeah.
But she
these kind of
does
things.
this. Like she does speak life over the kids. Like, oh, that's so sweet. I think it's like an internal battle. You don't like fakeness.
I don't
Yes.
like fakeness,
There's-
and I'm very logical.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do know
Like
what you mean.
to a fault,
You're right.
because our son is the same way.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and I don't know what I'm supposed to say,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but
I guess I'm just
Help,
like
help.
I'm
No.
verbally processing as
no, but
well.
she was also taught this, right? So one of the things that I love now about the logical side of her, it's just no, this is yes and this is no. I love it. Right? There's no touchy feely, but when it's too harsh, I was like, whoa. Like
Yeah.
you gotta, that
yeah,
sort
I
of
gotta
thing.
find the balance.
And that's
And-
where the two of them butt heads, the
Yeah.
kid and the
And there is a difference between discretion and deception.
Mhm.
Deception is I'm lying to you. Discretion is I recognize for me to answer the question that's actually been presented is going to be harmful to you and isn't really that important.
Mm-hmm.
So think about the difference between this. Your child brings something to you and it literally is like a 4-year-old made it because they're 4,
Yeah.
right? Who cares about the object?
Mhm.
Let's speak to the life.
Mhm.
Let's say your child walks in with something sticking out of their hand. Well, you can't in that moment go, oh, well, it's not. Let's speak life into the.
Yeah.
No, we gotta. What's stuck in your hand?
Yeah.
Let's figure that out,
Mhm.
right? And so discretion is able to tell the difference between those two scenarios.
Mhm.
Deception is, I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to say things that aren't really true to you, and actually in the long run will end up injuring you.
Mm.
It is not going to injure your child for you to redirect from the question that was actually asked
Mhm.
into what are the real issues underneath the surface. Same thing with your spouse, same thing in other places. Another aspect within this, whenever it comes to lying, recognize discretion and deception are different. Also begin to recognize the basic idea that we can have surprises.
Mhm.
We're not going to have secrets.
Mhm.
Mm.
So telling the truth does not mean I have to go tell dad we're throwing a surprise birthday party for him this way. Our family can't do surprise birthday parties because we tell the truth. No.
Yeah.
No. There's nothing wrong with a surprise.
Mhm.
Now, we don't have secrets.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We do not have things that, oh, don't tell mom this,
Yeah.
right? We joke with my kids all the time, especially when they're little, but even now, we'll go out to eat on a Saturday. I take my kids to lunch every Saturday. We'll go out to eat, and like I'll get them a cookie or something like that. I'm really getting me a cookie, but
Right.
they're going to get a
Yeah.
bite,
Yeah.
right? And I'll be like, don't tell mom.
Right.
But who's the first one that tells them when we get home?
Yeah.
I am.
Uh,
I model for them that we don't keep these secrets,
Okay.
right? And they're always, whenever they were little, thought I was, what are you doing? Like,
Right.
Dad can't
Right.
hold a secret.
Right.
No, I'm showing you.
mhm,
We do not have this kind of deception in our
Yeah.
household, modeling for that for them.
Yeah. It is interesting watching our kids grow up. And one thing that eats at me, because I always wanted to be like, I would have said a while ago, a cool dad, you can come to me with anything, but it's really the sneakiness that gets me. And it's like, listen, son, we've all been there. I've been there. You're not tricking me. I need you to know that. And it's okay to tell me. And we're breaking down some of those walls, because in the end, when it's actually something in my life and our lives that we want to have him come to us with, I want him to know it's safe.
like the
Yeah.
big things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big things. And I love that, we're not in a house of fear. I think
Yeah.
that's a big trap that Satan puts on households, is this idea that you can't talk about this stuff with your
Yeah.
parents.
So I have a 17-year-old son,
Yeah.
and obviously now driving, girlfriend, all those kind of things.
Mhm.
And here's what I told him. Look, if you're ever in a situation,
Mhm.
call me, and I want your opening line to be, Dad, I need you.
Okay.
And if I hear that phrase,
Mhm.
I'm not getting mad. I'm not asking questions. I'm not doing anything. The full resources of who I am are now leveraged for you and for your well-being, and we will figure it out. Now, but I need a headline,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I need to
Yeah.
know from the get-go that this is where this is, so that I can mentally fixate in, so I don't go down dad land and immediately get frustrated or mad or trying to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on. But that line, Dad, I need you.
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
So how do you get to that place? Because I'm assuming one of the reasons that we get so scared is we want the control.
Yeah.
We want to know that our kids are super safe. How did you get there? Where it's like you actually trust God is obviously working, and you want to be in a spot that.
I don't know if I am there, but
Okay,
I think maybe I think in part it's the recognition of, look, if we don't have that, I have no control, I have no influence. Maybe that's what it is.
Okay,
Let's
yep,
go stay in your lane
yep,
for a
yeah.
minute. Hey, control, influence, and accept.
Love it.
Right?
I love
and
it.
so control what's mine, influence what's theirs, accept what's God's. Whenever I try to control something I can only influence, I lose both.
Mm-hmm.
17-year-old son,
Yeah.
I can't control him.
Yeah.
I can't control where he is. I can't control circumstances. I have some levers I can pull, but in the end, there's certain things that I can't control. So how do I get influence?
Yeah.
Well, I have to let go of control, because if it comes influence, that's just going to buy into more deceit. If I'm trying to micromanage,
That's it.
that convinces him to deceive. I mean, we all know if we have a boss who tries to micromanage us, we're going to try to not let them know some of the things that we're doing, just so we can get things done, so we don't have to deal with it, right?
Right.
But if we have a boss who leans in and says, "Man, I trust you. Go do what you need to do," we are more likely to involve them. Say,
Correct.
"Hey, what's your opinion? How should I handle this?"
Yeah.
Our kids are that way as well. So I think, and we're struggling with this, no doubt, with a 20-year-old and 17-year-old, but to recognize we do not have control of these two human beings.
That's cool.
How do we have influence?
Yeah.
Well, the way we have influence is to speak these things into being.
I love it.
You know?
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Okay. So there's honesty and there's dishonesty. What do those two elements do to this world of marriage when
Yeah,
you're
oh my
talking about
goodness.
truth and love and being honest and
Good
dishonest
golly.
and all of it?
In the world in which we live, I mean, of married life,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so frustrating. The three of us, along with Jenny, the four of us,
Yeah.
should never lie to each other,
Right.
because every single day we're involved in situations where the lie is exposed, and just the heartache
Oh, yes.
that is there of and how it just has this erosive effect on every aspect of who we are, right? And so the affair is revealed, and the whole foundation of the marriage is ripped apart. Now let's say a divorce happens, it feels like you lose half of your story,
Right.
right? And for your kids, all that is taken away, and just you ripple that into 1,000 different areas. And so what does dishonesty do? It breaks trust. So the friendship begins to wear down, which destroys respect, which means the partnership is gone, which now eliminates any chance of vulnerability. So true intimacy is robbed. And yet early on, many couples still continue to have sex. So now there's this divide that happens between their emotions, their brain, their heart, their soul, and their body. So they're placing their body in a place while they're trying to hold back their heart, mind, and soul. And just the danger that comes in. Think about the amount of stress that adds. It causes you to begin to have to guess.
Right.
Even if you hear what your spouse had to say, you're having to put more energy into it to discern, are they telling me the truth or not telling me the truth? I'm having to read every body language, all the tone that's in there. It's exhausting. Dishonesty in the end is exhausting, but the irony is, why do we tend to implement it? Because we think the truth is too difficult.
Right.
Yeah, we had a situation this week where we had a time frame for a plan, and Blaine told me one thing, and in my mind it was different. And so we went back to review the plan for like the month or whatever. He's like, we got these days, and then he told me a week, but really the amount of time was 3 days. So in my mind, I'm being very vague, I know, but in my mind we had like a week together, but really we only had 3 days. And I was like, you're a liar, because you are not telling me. I was mad. I was mad. And I was like, you didn't tell me the full truth. You you cushioned it. You made it fluffy so that it's not a exact. And I want exact because we said I'm logical and I plan. And that really, like, I felt like I couldn't trust him for like a couple. We didn't talk for like 10 minutes in the car because I was just like steaming.
So first off, the positive 10 minutes, not 10 days, not, you know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So there, I'm so excited that we're making improvements because this is an ongoing
Which
thing.
is even more irritating.
Yeah, so irritating. I see.
He's so positive, Kevin.
This fight is so great. Look at how much better this fight is than the last fight.
And I just say that because I don't want the other person listening saying like, oh, wow, 10 minutes. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit aware of that. But I am very aware now more than ever that I'm trying to keep everything fluffy and keep it nice and safe.
Because you have so much love.
But what's that insecurity? But anyway,
I love this illustration right here. I think this is a perfect example, and we see it all the time, where one who doesn't want to hurt the feelings of the other, who wants to encourage and build up the other person, will put a bend on the truth that isn't fully truthful. And thinking that, all right, we'll make this all work out and that kind of thing. Not recognizing that actually creates distrust in the other person whenever that idea doesn't come to fruition the way it was explained. And so what can actually create, so the very thing you want to avoid, creating tension and disagreement and frustration, your action actually creates. And the very thing that you think would create it, to actually take responsibility and say, this is exactly what it is, would actually avoid the very thing. And so it's a beautiful picture of how messed up we are in our actions, that oftentimes the behavior we want to avoid, the outcome we want to avoid, creates an action in us that creates the very thing we're trying to avoid. And the way to change all that is to lean into the thing that doesn't come natural to us. And so it would be better for you to say, look, we might only have a couple days together and it actually be 3, than for you to say, oh, we got a week. And it's actually only going to be narrowed down to this little part. And so it takes courage now for you to pause and go, okay, this is going to be uncomfortable in the moment, but in the long run, it's going to be so much better. And here's the irony. There are places in which you easily do that. So your friend texts you, I'm mad. Great. Let's be uncomfortable so that in the long run, we can be good. So what's beautiful about that is not hypocrisy. That is, you're growing in this area in one place. Use the lessons you've learned there and apply it back over here into marriage. Just as you're growing in places of marriage, use that to apply it in a friendship.
And I'm also aware that it's nicer to have that conversation 3 weeks before the trip versus after the trip. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like suddenly, oh, well, we did all this and you should be happy. No, you're mad. What? No, because you lied to me. It was supposed to be this, but it ended up being that. So I'm even robbing, I'm hearing it now. I'm robbing the joys of what it could be by trying to
Well,
butter
because
it
the
up.
expectations are not met. If you would have just placed the expectations where they really are.
Yeah. So
Let me give you a case study. All right,
Yeah.
let's do Jack and Jill just for easy names.
Mhm.
Right. So Jill grows up in a family where you can't trust anybody. You
Mhm.
got to be dependent upon yourself. You have to be nobody's going to be there to meet your needs. That's Jill. Right.
Okay. Poor Jill.
Jack, yeah, no doubt. Jack grew up in a family where he had to take care of everything. He had to grow up way too fast, be responsible for everybody and everything. And so think about Jack takes on everything. Will not say no to anything. Will do everything. So now they're in a relationship.
Mhm.
Jill is learning to be vulnerable and learning to say, "Hey, Jack, could you help me with this?" Huge step, right?
Mhm.
And Jack wants to encourage that in Jill to learn that you can depend upon me. These patterns that saved you in your family of origin are going to kill us now. So depend upon me in a way that you've never been able to depend on anybody.
Mhm.
But here's the problem. Jack now wanting to draw that out of Jill does not have the ability whenever she asks, "Hey, can you help me with this?" He doesn't have the courage to say, "You know what, today I can't." Because he's afraid that if he says no, that's going to confirm her story that she can't depend upon anybody and she's going to keep on being independent and not trust him.
Mhm.
Right. But what happens? He agrees to do something that there's no way he's going to be able to do it.
Lets her down.
And so he lets her down, which actually confirms the very story that he
Right.
wants to avoid. And so you pull this couple together and you show them, Jack, what you need to do is before you say yes, you really need to process it. Hey, thank you so much for asking me. Man, let me think about this think, because the most damaging thing to Jill is not you saying, no, I can't do this. The most damaging thing to Jill is for you to say, yes, I can, and then not,
Mhm.
because that confirms the story she's always written. And then he needs to get to a place to recognize there are times where you have to say no.
Mhm.
You cannot take care of everything. And so that's an example of how two families of origin come together in this new relationship. It's no accident they're attracted to each other.
Mhm.
He's attracted to somebody who isn't too needy
Right.
because he's surrounded by people who are needy.
Right.
She's attracted by somebody who's actually trustworthy, who will actually meet needs. And yet their defense mechanisms are up because while they're drawn to that, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And now, if they don't learn how to operate in a good way, they will actually rewrite the very story that their lives that were found upon that were so damaging to begin with. And y'all are going to have a story like that as well. It's just going to be, the details are going to be different.
Yeah.
Whatever, every couple is going to have those things. And now we have to learn, how do we make sure we leverage them for our health and not for lack of health.
Yeah. Yeah. Thoughts?
So true.
On
No,
that?
I mean it makes sense.
Yeah.
You want we're time wise, we're kind of near the end. So let's just kind of draw some practical applications
Yeah.
to see how can we go about this. One thing I would say is, first of all, let's, as a house, not just as a marriage, as a house, say truth is something we honor. Now, truth spoken in love. In other words, you don't just get to walk around shouting your opinions.
Those are
And
ugly.
yes, in
You're
harshness.
horrible.
So it's a very fair question. Whenever it is to ask somebody when they say something, to say, one, is that true? And notice, is that fully true? Is that true in light of God and his story and everything that he is and all these things? Is that true? Now, are you saying that with love? Is there a true desire for the well-being of the person you're speaking to and not just for protection of yourself? All right, we're going to honor that. Secondly, what that means is, in this house, lying is going to be looked at a way far greater than anything else. That this is a danger. Imagine how you would react if there were break-ins in your neighborhood. You would say, man, we got to protect this house. We got to be really careful, right? We do not want somebody breaking in because it's a threat to us. Lying is a threat to us.
Yeah, that's good.
And now we recognize as kids are growing up, they're going to lie. Everybody lies. But we have to now confront that in a very compassionate way. We have to show them consequences to what's going on because of how serious this is, and let them experience the consequences of what that looks like. That, look, all right, I don't like that you disobeyed this rule, and there's a consequence to that. But the greater consequence is this lie that happened. We got to stop that in every way. And so then what does it look like to begin to learn, all right, if one leans toward truth and one leans toward love, how do we exaggerate the other way? And to even have a great deal of grace, especially if you're married to somebody who struggles to be vulnerable in telling the truth, give them permission to overstep the boundary a little bit. Give them permission to, hey, all right, I would rather you say something to me that kind of comes across as a little bit unloving, and then we can correct that. But if they say something instead of immediately going, oh, wow, that hurts, or getting defensive, hey, man, that had to be hard for you to say. Thank you for saying that. And then you can have the conversation later about what that looks like. And then also, then if you have somebody who speaks truth so easily that sometimes they can come across as not loving, all right, what would that look like if you actually started holding back a little bit? That your personality is one that you just so easily share everything. They're not all necessary.
Right.
What does it make sure if we look like one thing I said on Sunday that I think is so important for parents is that we overestimate how much our kids feel loved by us, and we underestimate how much they already know what we believe.
Yeah.
And so I think speaking truth in love, yes, you got to speak truth and love to your kids, no question. But especially the older they get, teenagers, young adult children, they know what I think. There's nothing my kids could do in which they're going to wonder, I wonder what dad thinks about this. They know. Yeah. The question they're always asking is, does he love me?
Wow.
So let me fixate on making sure that I'm communicating that love.
Yeah.
And then just in everything that we do, how can we create a climate in which we want to woo the heart of the other out and to make sure that's defining who we are? And if we do that, there's a power to it. I don't know if y'all seen the study or not, but a study's been done that when a dentist tells you this shot is about to hurt, it actually hurts less than if they were to say, oh, this won't be any big deal at all. So the awareness and basically the trust that creates that, hey, this is going to hurt for a minute, but he's telling me this, and so I know, that actually lessens our pain.
That's good.
And so to have that ability to share the truth and compassionate grace with each other will actually lessen our pain.
Right.
It won't increase it.
That's what I got to do to you is be like, this is going to hurt a little bit, and I'm going to
You're
tell
not going to like this.
you're not going to like this, but is that true?
I bet you. I think it's worth trying.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear how that works.
Yeah.
But yes, to say, because what you're doing there is you're recognizing, man, this is not ideal,
and it's allowing me to be straight up with the truth,
which is what I want.
And I'm trying to guess how she's going to react to whatever I'm about to say.
Because you're protecting yourself from my reaction.
You're not going to like this. I'm going golfing.
Yeah, well, that I already.
Well,
well, you are all weekend.
I don't know if I'd say it that way. Okay. That's a negotiation.
Okay.
But I do think seriously, Adrian, when you're married to a 9, who sometimes is not fully out there with how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and kind of vacillating back and forth, the temptation for Blaine in that situation is to get into a role in which he's trying to manage your emotions. That is not your job.
Yeah, because he's a fixer.
Yes. That is not your job. Now, it would attract the two of you to each other, but you have to refuse to play that role and instead honor the humanity that is hers, her own decision making. Right? You can influence, you can't control it.
Yep.
And so instead of coming in going, I'm going to read the room and try to figure out how to manage this, come in and say and bring to the table what are the facts, and then allow her to process her own emotions.
Because that's like the thermostat versus the thermometer.
Oh wow!
Yep. Oh, we're listening, Kevin.
Wait, what?
We are listening.
Drawing it back.
How about that?
It all makes sense.
It does. It's just all clicking.
Just like a big puzzle.
And that's why I changed it. What's the same?
That's why it's not left to a game of chance.
That's
right there, because
we
it
can
is
do things.
predictable. We can make it happen.
Good as always, Kev.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Enjoy
See
your
y'all next
golf.
time.